The path of the shadow doesn't begin with a glorious battle. It starts in a silent courtyard of packed earth and gray stone. You are 6 years old, and while the children of the merchants are learning to count coins, you are learning to count the heartbeats of the person standing behind you. The academy is not a school. It is a refinery designed to strip away your fear, your hesitation, and eventually your name. You spend your mornings balanced on the tip of a wooden pole and your afternoons submerged in cold river water, learning to breathe through a hollow reed. You are being molded into a tool for the village, a living weapon that doesn't ask why, but only asks where. The training is a relentless grind of physical and mental conditioning. You are taught the alphabet of the shadow, how to walk on rice paper without making a sound, how to identify a poison by its scent, and how to map a room in total darkness using only the echoes of your own breathing. You learn that your body is a machine, and like any machine, it must be maintained with absolute discipline. You don't play games, you run evasion drills through dense bamboo forests where the instructors hunt you with blunted arrows. If you are caught, you don't get a lecture, you get a bruise and a command to do it again, faster, until the forest itself feels like an extension of your own skin. The graduation is the final cold transition. It isn't a ceremony with music and celebration. It is a test of absolute loyalty. You are taken to a dark chamber and given a mission that forces you to choose between your personal feelings and the safety of the village. You are told that a shinobi's greatest enemy is their own emotion. Once you pass, you are handed a plain, unadorned headband. You are no longer a child of the village. You are a genin. You have traded your innocence for a lifetime of service in the dark. You exit the academy gates not as a person, but as a shadow in waiting, ready to be cast wherever the village leader needs a silent hand. You have reached the first rank, but you are quickly reminded that in the hierarchy of the shadows, you are at the very bottom. This is the rank of Genin. You are a low-level operative, and your life is far from the legends of epic assassinations. Instead, you are an errand runner. Your days are filled with D-rank missions, tasks that feel beneath the warrior, but are essential for the village's survival. You guard merchant caravans through muddy mountain passes, you hunt for lost documents in the pouring rain, and you stand watch over border outposts where nothing happens for weeks at a time. The reality of the Genin rank is the mastery of boredom and physical endurance. You learn that 90% of a shinobi's life is waiting. You spend hours crouched in the rafters of a dusty warehouse or hidden in the high grass of a damp marsh, watching a target that never moves. You learn the art of the stakeout. You realize that the flashy techniques you practiced in the academy are useless if you don't have the patience to stay still while a mosquito bites your face. You are being tested to see if your spirit will break under the weight of the mundane. You aren't fighting enemies yet. You are fighting your own restless mind. The lesson of the Genin is that there are no small missions. You begin to see the connections between your boring tasks and the village's larger strategy. That merchant you guarded was carrying the funds for a secret alliance. That border watch was actually a screen for a high-level infiltration team. You learn that even the smallest mistake, a snapped twig, a heavy breath, or a moment of daydreaming can alert an enemy scout and bring ruin to the village. You learn to take pride in the clean finish, a mission where you were never seen, never heard, and left no trace that you were even there. The transition to the next level happens when you stop seeing yourself as a hero and start seeing yourself as a component of a larger machine. You've survived the rain, the mud, and the endless waiting. You've proven that you can follow an order without question, no matter how trivial it seems. You are no longer just a student with a headband. You are a reliable asset. As you receive your first C-rank scroll, you realize that the errand runner phase was just a filter to see who had the discipline to survive the real shadows. The days of guarding spice merchants and pulling weeds in the rain are over. You have survived your first real taste of steel, and the village has rewarded you with a promotion.
This is Level 3, the Chunin. You are no longer just an individual tool, you are a squad leader. For the first time, you are responsible for more than just your own heartbeat. You are given a team of Genin, fresh, eager, and terrified, and your job is to turn their raw talent into a cohesive unit. In the hierarchy of the Shadow, you are the middle management of war, the bridge between the high-level strategists and the boots on the ground. The reality of the Chunin rank is the burden of tactical strategy. You spend your nights over maps made of vellum and ink, lit by a single candle. You aren't just thinking about how to hide, you are thinking about how to use the environment as a force multiplier. You learn to coordinate synchronized strikes, where 3 different attacks hit a target at the exact same microsecond from 3 different angles. You are the one who decides when to use the smoke bomb and when to retreat into the canopy. You learn that a leader's greatest weapon isn't their blade, but their ability to remain calm while their squad is surrounded in a B-rank sabotage mission. The stakes are a constant low-level hum of anxiety. At Level 3, you are the backbone of the village's defensive perimeter. You are sent on deep recon missions into rival territories, mapping out supply lines and identifying weak points in enemy fortresses. You realize that your decisions have consequences. If you misread a scout signal, your Genin don't just fail the mission, they don't come home. You develop a commander's ear, learning to filter out the noise of the battlefield to hear the one specific whistle that means your flank is compromised. You are a professional, a tactician who knows that a successful mission is one where you achieve the objective and keep your team alive. The lesson of the squad leader is that the unit is everything. You see that a perfectly synchronized team can take down a target 10 times its size. You learn that your ego is a liability. If a Genin has a better angle, you let them take the shot. You have traded your individual glory for the collective success of the squad. As you hand back your first completed sabotage scroll, stained with mud but successful, you realize that you've moved from being a follower to being a builder of shadows. You are no longer just a weapon, you are the hand that wields it. The burden of managing a squad has been replaced by the weight of national survival. You have reached the rank of Jonin. You are no longer just a soldier, you are an elite specialist. In the village, you are a household name, though your face is rarely seen. You are the one the leaders call when a mission is labeled A rank, tasks that are considered impossible for anyone else. You don't walk into a battle. You are the reason the battle ends before the first drum is even struck. You are a master of lethal precision, a warrior who has optimized every muscle and every thought for the singular goal of the mission. The reality of the Jonin rank is the solitary hunt. While you may lead large groups in times of total war, your primary work is done alone or with a single, equally elite partner. You are sent into the heart of enemy territory to perform high-value target assassinations or to steal the cipher scrolls that hold the secrets of a rival nation's defense. You spend weeks in deep cover, living as a beggar, a monk, or a merchant, waiting for the 1 5-second window that your target is vulnerable. You learn that a Jonin's greatest skill isn't their speed with a blade, but their ability to manipulate the information flow to walk through a front gate unnoticed.
The stakes are legendary and terrifying. At Level 4, your presence on a map changes the movement of entire armies. If an enemy scout reports a Jonin of your caliber in the area, they don't just increase the guard, they change their entire supply route. You are a weapon of terror, a shadow that keeps the enemy generals awake at night. You realize that you are no longer just fighting for a village, you are fighting for the balance of power between empires. You have seen enough death to know that peace is a fragile illusion, and you are the one who has to get your hands dirty to maintain it. The lesson of the elite specialist is that perfection is a requirement, not an goal. At this level, a single heartbeat of hesitation doesn't just mean your death, it means the loss of a strategic advantage that took 10 years to build. You have traded your humanity for a cold, mechanical efficiency.
You see the world as a series of angles, timing, and vulnerabilities. As you vanish from a burning fortress with the target seal in your hand, you realize that you have become the very myth the academy students dream of. But you also know the cost. You are a man with no home, only a series of missions. You have been plucked from the regular ranks and scrubbed from the official records. You no longer exist in the village's ledgers. This is level 5, the Anbu. You are Shadow Ops. You are given a porcelain mask, usually carved into the likeness of a cold, geometric animal, and a uniform of dark, reinforced charcoal gray plates. You don't report to the Jonin commanders anymore. You answer only to the village leader in a room with no windows. You are the Black Ops of a feudal world, the one who handles the dirty work that the village officially denies ever happened. The reality is a cold, clinical elimination of internal and external threats. You spend your nights in the interrogation chambers or performing black bag ops inside your own village to root out spies and traitors. You are a janitor for the state, cleaning up the messes that would cause a civil war if they became public. You don't fight for glory or for a headband. You fight to maintain a status quo that is built on secrets. You learn that the most dangerous enemies aren't the ones in rival uniforms, but the ones who share your own dinner table. You are a faceless enforcer of an absolute, silent law. The risk is the total loss of self. At level 5, the mask isn't just a piece of equipment, it's your new identity. You spend so much time behind the porcelain that you forget the sound of your own voice. You are a target for every foreign assassin, but since you have no name, there is no one for them to hunt. If you fall in a dark alley in a foreign city, your body is incinerated by a self-destruct seal carved into your skin. There is no funeral, no monument, and no record of your sacrifice. You are a ghost protecting the light, and you accept that your only reward is the continued survival of a village that doesn't know you exist. The lesson of the Anbu is that truth is a luxury. You see the dark underbelly of the politics you once thought were noble. You learn that peace is a garden that must be watered with the blood of those who would disrupt it. You have traded your reputation and your face for the power to act without limits. As you adjust your mask before dropping into a high-security vault, you realize that you are no longer a person, you are a function. You are the ultimate expression of the village's will, a silent blade that strikes from the dark and vanishes before the blood even hits the floor. The mask of the Anbu has been set aside, but you haven't returned to the light. You have ascended to a rank that doesn't exist in any manual, the Jonin Shadow. You are the silent architect. You sit in a hidden chamber deep beneath the village's main tower, a room where the walls are made of cold, damp stone, and the only sound is the dripping of water and the scratch of a brush on parchment. You don't perform the missions anymore. You are the one who designs them. You are the bridge between the village leader's political goals and the lethal reality of the field. You are the grand strategist of a war that is won before a single blade is drawn. The reality of the Jonin Shadow is the cold, calculated manipulation of global geopolitics. You spend your days analyzing intelligence threads, the movements of grain in a rival province, the marriage of a minor noble in a distant city, and the specific frequency of a scout's whistle at a border crossing. You don't look for enemies, you look for levers. You realize that a single well-placed rumor or a stolen letter can do more damage than 1,000 elite soldiers. You are the CEO of a global espionage network, deciding which pawn to sacrifice to protect the king. You are the invisible hand that shifts the borders of empires from a wooden chair. The weight of the ultimate knowledge is the final burden of your rank. At level 6, you see the master map of the world, and you realize that peace is a fragile construction maintained by a series of necessary evils. You know the secrets of every ally and the weaknesses of every foe. You live in a world of absolute paranoia, knowing that the very system you've built to protect the village is also watching you. You have everything, the finest tea, the most secure scrolls, and the respect of the leaders, but you can never walk through the village streets as a simple man. You are a legend whispered about in enemy war rooms, a set of silent footprints on a cipher scroll that caused empires to fall. To the world, you are a myth. To the village, you are a tool. To yourself, you are simply the logic of the shadow taken to its ultimate conclusion. Suddenly, the small geometric raven on your balcony chirps. It isn't a bird, it's a messenger, carrying a tiny tube with a blue wax seal. It's a new requirement. A rival daimyo has just moved a battalion toward a disputed bridge. There's a flaw in their supply line, a microscopic gap in their scout rotation that only someone with your eyes can see. You don't feel excitement, and you don't feel guilt. You only feel the familiar, cold pull of the mission. You sit back down at your stone desk, the